Right, we're back with the Cayman S, and since the last video we've made quite a lot of progress. I've been pretty busy on this car. Had a little bit of time to spare off work, so I've been on a mission trying to get it painted. As you can see behind me, a lot of it is painted. I don't know if you caught the end of the last video where I gave you a little view of the wing mirror just to show you that it was going black. I had a vision for this car of it being black with some nice bronze wheels and stuff on it. So this video is going to be showing you exactly what we've done to get to this point. Like I say, I've been really quite busy on this car. I didn't actually know what order I was going to make this video. Even now while I'm filming this, I've no idea. So obviously I'm doing an intro after I've done the work for this. But one thing that's good news is we've got a lot of parts back from... We've got parts from Porsche back, we've got parts from the airbag team who have been great about all the dashboard and the airbags and everything, the seat belts we needed to get this car back together. That's the mission though, getting the interior back together, because I don't like seeing this car like this, and the longer I leave it, the more likely it is I'm going to forget where everything goes. In the last video at the end, I mentioned that I were having a bit of a nightmare with the parts, second-hand parts. First of all, finding them. I just didn't realise how rare this car was, how few of them were on the roads, and obviously because of this, getting all the second-hand parts is virtually impossible. I just assumed that most of the parts off the 987 would fit on the 987.2, but it turns out the differences are quite vast. There's a lot different, and it just so happens that all the parts that I need are the parts that are different. So after getting this second-hand wing that I bought mounted to the car, it did mount up okay, but I just kept looking at it and thinking, that's not right, there's something not right with that. I've been looking at this wing for a while and thinking, this headlight opening doesn't look right. Now I haven't got the light to check it, so what I've done is do a template from the wing that's on the car and drawn obviously the line, this line here, and it's obviously gone through, so that's a template. Let me show you. That's the line, but it's not even close. Now I read a lot on the internet about the 987 and 987.2 being the same apart from this headlight bracket, but no they're not, and there's none of these available anywhere in the country second hand. So I'm going to have to go to Porsche for this, which is going to be nice and expensive. But that's just the problem I'm having with this car. Everything's impossible to find parts for. So much of it now is having to come from Porsche. It's not actually that badly priced, to be honest, because if you can get parts for these, everyone knows what they're worth and they charge so much money for them, you may as well just buy brand new. So it's back to Porsche. And it's exactly the same story with the headlights. Now I bought this, the headlight on the right is the one that I've just purchased, and you can see it's not got the HID at the bottom section. I just didn't see this when I bought it. Obviously this car's spec'd with every optional extra you can think of by the looks of it, so everything's just impossible to find. Now this headlight were £1,000 second hand, and it's not going to work, so I'm sending this back, and I'm just going to have to continue to try and find these parts. Good news is to come later on in the video with a lot of these parts anyway, so it's not all doom and gloom. So let me stop whining and get on with showing you the strip down, because obviously before you paint the car, everything has to come off. The more you remove, the better the paint job's going to be. So it's just a case of stripping everything, taking absolutely as much as possible off the car. Headlights, bumper, wing mirrors, roof rails, the tailgate itself, the rear spoiler, door handles, all the rubber seals around the doors, around the windows, absolutely anything you can think of or find or spot that can be removed has to come off. So this is that process before we start prepping for paint. Now I've already shown you that the car's going black, but the actual colour that I've picked it's called black Porsche. It is a Porsche colour, it's called Black Schwarz 041 paint code. Now this is an original Porsche colour which I wanted to stick to, and it's a very deep black, a flat black. So to get this car as shiny as I want it, I'm literally sanding the entire thing by hand using a block, and this is really the only way to ensure that the panels are perfectly flat. Now this takes absolutely ages, but one thing that's against me at the minute while I'm doing this is that I've got 1 week only to get this car painted from start to finish, so I'm really working quite hard on this. Basically at this point I started using a 240 grit sandpaper on the Durablock just to get everything really knocked down nice and smooth. Then worked my way up to 600 grade through 320 and all the different grades just to get it nice and uniform. Make sure any imperfections are taken care of, any filler or anything like that, because that's one thing that I really don't want with this car. I don't want a car that's full of filler, and the panels are actually in exceptionally good condition anyway, so it's just a case of refining what's there already. But once that's done and everything's fully masked, and I mean fully masked, because the last thing you want is overspray anywhere, especially inside the vehicle. So the more time you make getting everything prepped and masked off properly, the better, because then you can just carry on with painting it and you don't have to worry about having to get overspray off later. So once this is all prepped and ready, give it 1 coat of primer or 2 coats of primer, and then wait 24 hours, and then basically once that's fully set the next day. Now at the moment it's very warm in England, so this is setting very fast, is this paint. So the next day just give that an 800 grade wet sand, and then it's ready to go, it's ready to paint. Basically what I've done is I've bought some mixable solvent paint, and I've bought 3 aerosol cans, and the reason I buy the aerosol cans, it's exactly the same paint from the same manufacturer, it's just in aerosol form, and this makes it easy just to do the detaily little bits like this before you mix the actual paint for the gun. Now all this has to be done today. We've now hit Friday. I know that my neighbours are out, so it's not going to get on their nerves, and it's 32 degrees and very windy, so it's going to be quite difficult, but it has to be today. So the gazebo's up to try and keep the car out of the sun, and off we go. Now if you're enjoying this project so far, please hit that subscribe button and the like button, because we have got so much further to go with this car and I'd hate you all to miss it. Big plans, thanks everyone for watching so far. Now, one thing you might notice is there's quite a lot of texture in this finish, in the clear coat. One of the reasons for this is just because it was absolutely boiling. It was like 32 to 35 degrees on the day I sprayed it, so the paint was drying so fast I just couldn't get it on fast enough. But again, I wasn't bothered because I did realise right from the start that I was going to have to wet flat this entire car before polishing it, just to give it that real mirror finish. So we'll start getting on with this now. Now, this paint at this point had 24 hours to dry, and I'm going to knock it back now, sand it back with 1000 grade, then 1500, then 2000, and then give it a polish. Now, I know in about a week's time this paint will shrink back and it will become a little bit more textured again, but while the paint's soft at this stage, it actually helps quite a lot to knock it back, just sand it a little bit flatter at this stage. Like I say, within the first 24 to 48 hours the paint's still really quite soft and allows you to sand it really easily, and then you have to wait a good week, maybe a little bit more, before it really sets and shrinks back, and then you can get that mirror finish. But for now we're just going to pull it back and give it a one shine, and then once the entire car's done it'll get its full flatten polish. So let me show you this. This is the difference. This is freshly painted surface, and around this side this is after some refinement, and the difference is just, I think you'll agree, just night and day. Now, as I said before, this is just the first polish. In a couple of weeks time I'll do all this again and refine it really to a mirror finish, but for now this is looking really good. So it's just a case of carrying on going all the way around the car. Now we've come to Monday and it's time for the windscreen to be fit. Now, somehow we've managed to actually get this car done in the week, get it painted, get it ready for the windscreen guys to come back and put the windscreen back in. So while I do a little bit of work on the tailgate for the car, the lads from Budget Windscreens have come and put a new windscreen in for me. Now I'm going to have to stop you there though, because we've just had a visit from Danny, and if you've seen any of our Shack House Company YouTube videos you'll know who Danny is. Now, his dad was selling a Mini, and I almost bought this car, but it was too nice to do anything with, so he's just brought it round to show me, and what a funny little car it is. It's absolutely brilliant. I forgot just how small these cars actually were. Absolutely amazing. Right, back to the build. It's time now to really start trying to get it kind of watertight, get these seals back in, stuff like this. Now, this main seal round the door edge gets riveted on, and it took me a while to figure out, but there's a way of doing this. You can't rivet this fully back on and then fit the quarter light glass panel, because it doesn't work. You need to leave the bottom rivet out. So once I'd figured that out, this is getting the seal back on the car, getting it riveted to the chassis, and then we're going to put that back window back in now that the windscreen's back in. Next up, the final rivet goes back in the bottom of this seal. This you have to do afterwards, otherwise you just can't get the pins in for the bolts for this window itself. So once that's in, the bottom adjuster needs adjusting. Something like this is basically so that the door glass and that glass lines up. Next up, putting the door furniture back on, the latches and things like that, so we can actually shut this door and stop rain getting in. Followed by the tailgate. Now the tailgate, all freshly painted. I've even painted underneath it the same as I've painted the insides of the doors and everything black, because I don't want this to be a car that has had a colour change, but as soon as you open a door or the boot you can see that it wasn't that colour originally. So I've taken my time and done the backs of these panels. Now this is quite tricky to do on your own, putting this tailgate back on with the glass installed, because it is quite a heavy unit, but it is possible. Obviously just propping it up with something gentle like this cardboard box. Then there's 4 Torx heads that go in it. Then the hydraulics, the rams that keep the boot from slamming itself. Then it's just a case of just adjusting it, trial and error. These hinges go up and down, left and right, so it's just a fiddle with, really. Obviously the interior is still in pieces in this car, so I can't connect the battery, which means that I can't actually fully shut this boot just yet, so I'm just going to have to go somewhere close and just leave it slightly open for now until the interior is back together and I can reconnect the battery. So that's that'll do. Also the GT4 kit's arrived. This I've had to get specially made. It took 2 weeks, which I thought were quite impressive actually. It's a GRP, it's not a cheap fiberglass kit, so it should fit quite well. I know I'm going to need to modify it slightly, but it should fit quite well. So we've got the GT4 style side skirts, spoiler. Now this spoiler I'm more than likely not going to fit because I think it's crap. It's the legs and everything, it's just not, it's not the best, so I've ordered a different spoiler, but the bumpers look great. Again, it's going to need a bit of work, but yeah, looking forward to getting these fit. The car's almost ready for it. We've got the dashboard back from the airbag team. They've done a fantastic job of repairing that. Steering wheel airbag, new seat belts. I've gone for a little touch of red in them. That's the actual airbag for under the dashboard. But as you can see, this is an absolute mess. I really hope I can remember. It's been 3 weeks since I took this apart, so I really hope I can remember where a lot of it goes. It's going to be difficult, but what I'm going to do is get it all, absolutely every part I've taken off it, I'm going to bring it out, lay it down, figure out where it goes, and then just try and remember what order it came out in and reverse the process, and hopefully we'll get there. Right, I've got to show you this. This is unbelievable. I didn't actually realise how many parts I'd taken off when I took the dashboard out, but this is all the parts you need that build up a Porsche dashboard. Obviously you need the dashboard as well. That's the screws from the right hand side. That's the screws from the passenger side. And that's not even to mention the all the other trims that are obviously still in here. All this lot, same at the other side. This is going to be a challenge. Like I say, it's been 3 weeks now, so I'm trying to remember how to fit 80 screws back in where you can't really see them. I'm just going to have to try it out. Right, slightly scary moment now. We've got the seat belts back in, the driver's airbag. I'm not going to put the passenger airbag in because I'm not 100% sure how these crash sensors work on these Porsches, so if I go to reconnect the battery and it blows that airbag again, it's going to smash the windscreen, wreck the dashboard, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to power the car back up, reconnect the battery now, but just with the driver's airbag and the seats, the seat belts, and if it sets them off then yeah, I'll be gutted, but at least it's not a new dashboard again and a windscreen. So yeah, I'll have to turn it on and stand back, but well, no explosions yet. So we're powered up. Like I say, the passenger airbag isn't in yet because the last thing I want is that dashboard to go again. Airbag light, obviously. Ignition on. Yeah. Now I know it's going to throw up every fault in the world because there's parts missing off it, but that's a bit of a result, to be fair. So now I'll turn it all back off and refit the passenger airbag. So at this point I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's been watching and all my subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, please consider hitting that button and please give me a like. There is so much more to come with this car, so we'll see you next time. Thanks guys.